Hello, everybody, and welcome. Yes, in this video, we are going to again take a look at some expressions about suggestion, of course, about advice, yeah, giving advice and making suggestions. We have studied them in the past, and now, what about remembering them again? Okay, let me share the presentation and let's remember them again. All right. Yes, hello and welcome back. Yes, we are. We are going on and on and on our way of acquiring English, and we are approaching the the final point. Okay, to the end. Now this is trip 3. So we have 7 more trips to finish this tour, the last tour of Harmony 3. Okay. Now making suggestions with. Have you thought about doing something, being something, having something? What about being something, having something, doing something? How about etc. Why don't you be, do, have something? Why don't you trade for it? You could be, do, have. It might be a good idea for you, for him, for them, for us to be, to do, to have. One thing you could do is to trade. One thing you could do is to trade, to do something. Okay. Now, doing business or transacting business, trading means buying and selling of goods and services. Trading means buying and selling of goods and services. Yes. Now, first dialogue. Have you thought about? Have you thought about? Yes. To give a suggestion. Someone who needs it about finding a job. Yes. For example, A says, I haven't got a job. Have you thought about buying and selling something? Have you thought about trading? Yeah. Have you thought about buying and selling something? So A likes this suggestion and he says, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Have you thought about, for example, C also hasn't got a job. Have you thought about being a landscaper, or have you thought about landscaping and gardening, delivering or distributing something, being a plumber? Yeah, have you thought about being a plumber? Have you thought about making music? Yes, that's a good idea. Okay, delivering or distributing something is a good idea, or it's a good idea to deliver and to distribute something as a job. Okay. Yes, what does the gift say? How about making a trade? Yes, how about making a trade? Just to show that we can, just to show that we can, just to show that we can trust. Yes, just to show that we can trust each other. Okay. So how about making trade? Or have you thought about making trade? One thing, one thing you could do is to trade. Yes, one thing you could do. One thing you could do is to trade, or it might be a good idea for you to trade. Okay, dialogue. The gift says we have to have a meaningful trade policy. Yes, we have to have a meaningful trade policy, buying and selling policy, or commerce. Yes, commercial policy. Okay, I haven't got a job again. A says, I haven't got a job. What about buying and selling something? That's a good idea. What about collecting, picking up some fruits at the gardens, etc., etc. And yeah, what about working at orchards, at fruit gardens? What about working? What about working at fruit gardens? Okay. Why don't you? Yeah, I haven't got a job. Someone again says, I haven't got a job. Unfortunately, I haven't got a job. Why don't you buy and sell something? Yes, why don't you buy and sell something? That's a good idea. Why don't you, to the third person, why don't you apply for a job? Why don't you apply for a job? Okay, the image says, would you like to make another transaction? No, thanks. Okay, with could, I haven't got a job. You could buy and sell something. It's possible for you. Yes, you could buy and sell something. That's a good idea. Couldn't you uh, go and work in the fruit gardens? Yes. Couldn't you work? Couldn't you work as a landscaper? Yes, that's a good idea. Okay. Now, I think, of course, all the time, it's a good idea. It's a good idea to repeat those expressions again and again to internalize them, to be able to use them immediately, fluently, and correctly. Yes, it might be a good idea too. It might be a good idea for you, for him, for her, for us to do. It might be a good idea too. I haven't got a job. It might be a good idea for you to buy and sell something. That's right. That's a good idea. It might be another good idea that you can be a landscaper. Yeah. You can, or it might be another good idea for you to fish and to sell them. Now, my friend and I are unemployed. My friend and I are unemployed. It might be a good idea to buy and sell something for you. Good idea, thanks. Yes, it might be a good idea for your friend. Yes, it might be a good idea for your friend to buy and sell something, and it might be a good idea for you to go fishing, to catch fish and to sell fish. Okay. And another thing, one thing you could do is to. Okay, one thing you could do is to. For example, there is no need to say for you. Okay, because one thing you could do is, one thing your friend could do is to catch fish and to sell fish. Okay, so one thing you could do is to. I haven't got a job. One thing you could do is to buy and sell something. You are right. What's another thing I could do? Another thing you could do. One thing you could do, another thing you could do is to deliver or Uber. So to do delivery or to do Uber. One, what's another thing I could do? Another thing you could do is to do delivery or no, not to. Okay. Another thing you could do is do delivery. One thing you could do is to buy and sell. Yes, yes, to. Okay, it's okay. What's another thing I could do? Another thing you could do is to do delivery or to do Uber, to do Lyft. Okay. Advice on about a problem, just like making a suggestion. Also, it is possible to give advice. Okay. One thing you could do is one thing you could do is to walk everywhere every day if you'd like to lose some weight. What else shall I do? What else shall I do? Another thing, okay, another thing you could do is to go on a diet. What else shall I do? Another thing you could do is to join a health club. What else shall I do? Or we can just make a normal sentence. You can also cut down on foods. Yes, you can also cut down on foods. Okay. Okay, all right. With 9 reasons to join a gym. Yes, trainers check on you, variety of machines and equipment, your fitness community, physical health, mental health, better posture. Yes, uh, for or to have physical health, mental health, and to have a better posture, it is good to join a gym. Okay. Dialogue 8. One thing you could do is to read. Yes, one thing you could do is you could do. There is no to here. Yes, one thing you could do is it is to read. Okay, one thing you could do is to read more books to build self-confidence. How else can I build self-confidence? You can also build self-confidence by reading a lot of personal development books. Or another thing you could do is another thing you could do to build self-confidence is to read a lot of books on self-confidence. Okay. What about participating in more social activities to build caliber and confidence? What could help me? What could help me to be more proficient? Yes. What about participating in more social activities to build caliber and confidence? Yes, it's a good idea. It's a good idea to participate in more social activities to build caliber and confidence. What could help me to be more proficient? What could help me to be more proficient, to be more competent at doing something? Okay, so practicing again and again. Okay, practicing again and again uh, is uh, could help you. Yeah, practicing again and again could help you to be more proficient. Yes. Or what about practicing? What about practicing more and more to be more proficient? Have you thought about? Have you thought about planning fun activities to look forward to every week to be happier? For example, this is also an idea. Although it is in a question form, it includes a message in it. Yes, have you thought about planning fun activities to look after to every week to be happier? Yes, it's a good idea. It's a good idea uh, to plan fun activities to look forward to every weekend to be happier. How can I lose weight? Uh, have you thought about cutting down on foods? Yes, it might be a good idea. It might be a good idea to cut down on foods. 11, it might be a good idea to cut down on calories to lose weight. What can I do to save money? It might be a good idea to set aside some money and turn or change it into a good habit. Well, then let me say it like this. It might be a good idea to form a good habit to set aside some money every day. To save money, one thing you could do is to come up with a budget. To come up with a budget. Yeah. to form the idea of a budget in your mind. Yeah, to save money, one thing you could do is to come up with a budget. How can I improve my memory? To improve your memory, one thing you could do is to play memory games. Okay. Okay. Yes. Now, workability, viability. Workability, viability means feasibility of something. Yes. Come up with a feasibility plan. Yeah, come up with a good idea. Come up with a solution, for example. Don't come up with a problem. Okay, come up with a solution. Come up with a feasibility plan. Produce a feasibility plan. Okay, so master plan, strategic plan, concept and business plan, a technical feasibility plan, market feasibility plan, and financial feasibility plan. All three are needed to come up with a complete feasibility plan of succeeding something. Yes, really technical and useful. Yeah, feasibility of something means workability, viability, doability of something. Yeah, doability. Okay, 13A. You could play concentration games. It's possible for you. Okay, it is probable that you will play concentration games. So you could play concentration games to improve your memory. How can I get along with my roommate better? Yes, what could I do? He or she asks us. Okay, so you could be, you could be punctual, you could be systematic, and you could have a smiley face. Yes, you could have a smiley face, and you could speak kindly, kindly to your friend. Okay, to get along with him or her better. Now 14, it will be about getting annoyed. Yes, like this, being annoyed. She's annoyed, for example. Why don't you try not to get peeved at, get annoyed at? Okay. Little things to get along with your roommate. How can I learn English better and better? So why don't you try not to get peeved at little mistakes? Okay, so don't get peeved at, don't get annoyed at uh, little small mistakes, so you can improve your English. Okay, or have you thought about, yes, have you thought about uh, not not getting annoyed by little mistakes? Yes. What about not getting annoyed little mistakes? How about, yes, not getting annoyed, not getting peeved at little mistakes? Why don't you? Why don't you? Why don't you? Why don't you not get peeved at little mistakes? You could not get peeved at little mistakes, or it might be a good idea. It might be a good idea to stop getting peeved at little mistakes. It might be a good idea to stop getting annoyed at little mistakes. One thing you could do is to or not to, yes, to not to get peeved at little mistakes, or one thing you could do is not to get annoyed at little mistakes, and you should go on speaking, writing, listening better and better. Okay. 15. If I were an advice columnist, I would suggest a person who bites his or her fingernails that they should think of different activities. Yeah, that's a good idea in my opinion. Yes, we have learned. If I were you, I am sure you will remember it. For example, you should think of, you should find different activities. Okay, you ought to find. Or uh, if I were you, I would find different activities. Okay, these are also possible. I am sure you have remembered them. Should we use should and ought to give advice? And if I were you, the second type of if clause also used to give advice. Okay. What would you suggest a person that he or she shouldn't lose their temper? If I were them, okay, if I were them, I would, I would do my best. I would do my best to control my anger, because experts say that the feeling anger is simple and it is controllable. So to organize your busy schedule, one thing you could do is to prioritize the things you have to do, you must do, you had better do, you should do. Yes, had better is also should. You know this. What about using a bulletin board? To use a bulletin board, one thing you could do is to make a good plan of it. Might it be a good idea to get help from a consultant? Of course, it is always advisable. It is always acceptable. It is always acceptable to get help from a consultant. 18. Traditional and modern eating habits shape our diet. What does it take to keep fit? It takes effort. It takes diligence. It takes determination. It takes resilience to keep fit. Isn't it another thing to cut down on junk food? Yes, of course. It's another good idea. It's another thing. Yes, to cut down on junk food. To remember people's names one thing you could do is to remember people's names more easily. Yes, comma. One thing you could do is to write their names under their photos. Yeah, it's really a good idea. Isn't it another thing? Repeat those names frequently. Yes, it is also another thing, another good idea to repeat those names frequently. How can I learn to control my temper? You can learn to control your temper by believing in yourself and by doing it again and again, and by believing that it is feasible. Okay, it is controllable, by accepting the idea that controlling anger is feasible, is achievable. Yeah, okay. Okay, now quiz time. Let's take a look at our quiz. Question 1. Blank, should we use such methods? Not question, sorry. Should we use such methods? Seldom should we use such methods. Yes. Just like using never, for example. Never should we use such methods. Okay. Okay. At no time will I ask a question without getting a permission from the president. Yes, at no time will I ask, not a question form, but the inversion structure. It's about inversion structure. 3. Not until her solicitor came there, not until her solicitor came there, did she speak. Did she speak a word, although she was a solicitor as well? Yeah, did she speak? In the question form, again, inversion. Not until her solicitor came there did she speak a word, although she was a solicitor as well. For should you have difficulty in finding a house for rent, you can call me anytime you want. Okay? Should you have difficulty in finding a house for rent, you can call me anytime you want. Had you not set up late? Had you not set up late means if you hadn't set up late yesterday, okay? Had you not set up late, you would have sold your goods in the marketplace and bought all the things you needed yesterday. Of course, unfortunately, it didn't happen because it is just an hypothesis. Now, vocabulary building study. Yes, what did we do? We have finished harmony 1, harmony 2, harmony 3. Yes, that's right. We are about to finish the last one. But do you see that we are about to finish harmony 5, which is about vocabulary building? Yeah. So for 7 months, we have studied 4 books. Yes, we have studied 4 books, and when we finish, for example, harmony 3, we will have finished 4 books. Okay, because harmony 5 is all about vocabulary, so we have I have distributed, I have scattered, attached the vocabulary to the end of the presentations, since the half of the intermediate level harmony 2. Yes, since the half of harmony 2. Okay, so we will have finished 4 books when we finish harmony 3 completely. Okay. Now, okay, here is a GIF, a singer, and it says, "I got a roof over my head." Yeah, this is one of the topic discussions of harmony 4. Yes, there are 50 topics, and one of them is accommodation, means a roof over my head. Okay, of course, it's more it's the artistic way of saying accommodation. Yes. Do you have a roof over your head? Yes, thank God I have a roof over my head means I have a house to live in. I have a home. Now, accommodation means housing, home, somewhere to live, work, and to stay. How long have you been looking for accommodation? Accommodate as a verb, provide with a place to live or to be stored in. Give what is needed to someone. Have room for provide, somewhere to stay. Provide accommodation. Accommodating is an adjective, helpful, cooperative. For example, Robert is an accommodating neighbor. Accommodating friend means helpful friend, cooperative friend. Helpful and willing to do what someone else wants. Accommodating is a good humanity trait. Okay. They say Irfan can accommodate 12 students in his house. Can he accommodate their bikes and bicycles as well? Does the house have enough space for all of them? Yes, he can accommodate whatever they have as well. Who is an accommodating friend? Yes, Robert and Irfan. Yes, Robert and Irfan are accommodating friends, helpful friends. Faruk is an accommodating friend. Who else is also accommodating? Robert is also accommodating. Irfan is also accommodating. Okay. Hangout. What is Hangout? Yes, Hangout is a frequently visited place for spending time, for entertainment, or for socializing. Yes. Best Hangout spots. Okay. Will you hang out with me later? Will you hang out with me later? Yes. Okay. Hang out. Okay. I wanna hang out with you. I wanna hang out with you. Yeah, as a verb. Hang out with somebody means to go out with somebody. But hang out is a place, visited place for spending time. So it is hang out is both noun and verb. Okay. Hang out with other people means spend time with people. Yes, spend time with people. Hang out is a noun, a place where someone spends a lot of time or where they live. Yeah, Nadir usually hangs out with his friends who spends his free time alone. Nermin spends his free time alone. Okay. Take something up as a phrasal verb, start doing a particular job or activity. Recep has taken up jiu-jitsu to keep fit, keep him in shape. Yes, to keep him in shape. Who has taken up sailing in his leisure time? Yes, Robert has taken up sailing in his leisure time. Yes, sailing, discover your sport, connect with your community. Experience US sailing, discover your sport. Going for means do something regularly or enjoy something, take part in a competition, enter, take part in, yes, participate in, that participation, going for, but regularly, yeah, do something regularly. I think I'll stop going in for tennis. Who is planning to go in for table tennis competition? I myself, yes, I am myself planning to go in for table tennis competition. I like table tennis very much. Live up to something. Phrasal verb, be as good as something. Succeeding, achieving, and fulfilling. Harun's mother hopes him to be industrious, tactful, and caring. How will he manage to live up to his mother's expectations? I think better, because his mother has more than one expectation. Let's put S there. Okay. How will he manage? It is very difficult. Do you see the difficulty? Harun's mother expects him to to be industrious, to be tactful, to be caring. So how will he manage to live up to his mother's expectations? Live as well as his mother's expectations. Yes. So by taking those human good qualities seriously, I am sure Harun will manage to live up to those excellent human good traits. Okay, what does the gift say here? No, not gift, image. When you don't live up to your own expectations, yeah. Okay, yes. What happens? What happens when you don't live up to your own expectations? What is the rest of it? you start living according to someone else's expectations. So it is better and ideal to try to live up to our own expectations. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So this is the end of this presentation. I hope it will be helpful, accommodating. It will be accommodating for you. And I wish you a good day. See you next time.